So a few videos back, we were asked by a commenter on one of our videos, what games do you notice that fluctuate in value or suddenly increase in price? And that can happen for a variety of reasons. One thing I've noticed lately is a lot of movie or TV show tie-ins typically increase the price of games. So a few years ago when The Witcher came out on Netflix, we saw the demand for that game in our store skyrocket to the point where we were selling 2 or 3 copies a week at the current price that we had it at. I think it was like $5 or $10, and the game shot up in value to $20 or $30. So we increased our prices a bit to make sure we would always have a copy in stock. And then of course, demand kind of went down for that, and we adjusted our price accordingly. The latest, I'll say, victim to that would be The Last of Us for the PS3. When the show came out to excellent reviews. We were selling 3-4 copies of the game a day, and we were typically charging between $5 and $8 for a copy. It was a game we always had in stock, we had lots of copies of, and then we noticed it was selling and selling. It was price charting as high as around 30 to 35 Canadian at one point. We currently price it at $25. Now that includes our 13% tax here in Canada. We kept our price at $25. We've noticed it sells a bit slower, but we're still selling a copy every other week, and we don't have as much stock as we used to. Now, looking at it today, it's price charting around $19.20, so you factor in tax, that's about $23. So we'll likely have to reduce our price from 8 to around 18 or $20 with tax in to move a few copies. The Avatar game's getting big because they announced the movie came out and they announced a new game, so that's another one. New game in a series will typically increase the price. Or if they remake a game for a new system, a lot of people want to try the old game, which makes sense. They kind of want to compare, or they get nostalgic for the one that they grew up with and that they want to play. The other factor we're noticing is games being delisted. Nintendo, in their infinite wisdom, delisted all of their 3DS and DS stuff and are not making it available on the Switch at all. So that has caused the prices for those to skyrocket. For Dave and I, it's actually a double-edged sword. Games go up in value, great. But it's really difficult to sell a copy of Pokemon Heart Gold for $200. I'd rather that game resell on the used market for like $70 or $80. That way we could actually move our copies. I find once a game gets up over $100 to $200, once it's more than basically a new release at retail, which for us in Canada is around $90, it just makes it difficult for us to sell the game, and it turns people off on the pricing. When people bring those games for trade or to sell, we have to pay higher for them. And that causes us to have to charge more because we need to make what we can on them in order to keep the store running. Great question. If you have any other questions around how we price games, what games we see a lot of, what games go up in demand, what games go down in demand, would love to hear from you. Cheers, guys.